Hello and welcome to this tutorial video. Today we're going to look into some of your likely working activities away from the students. So let's start by looking at the teaching cycle, which is worth introducing to you now as it's something that's going to come up quite heavily should you decide to take steps towards becoming a qualified teacher and starting with an AET. It will also help you to understand the way in which the teacher will be working. There are two real parts of the job, what you do with the students and what you do when they are not there, such as preparing work for them, reporting and assessing. And there's a base of 5 elements that really is a framework for what you're going to approach anything you do with regard to educating young people or adults. Whether you work in a primary school, a secondary school, college, at a university, or even working with adults, you will find that this is going to be relevant. Although this is a cycle, we can start with the learner's needs. Knowing what these are is important in the beginning to plan for them. Next, we need to think about how we plan something to support those needs. Once we have our planning, we look at delivering. We should have a good plan and all our resources in place, but we are still only in the middle of the cycle. We aren't just delivering to the students, we are also learning from them too. During and after delivery, we have to assess whether we got things right and how everything went, as well as assessing how much progress the students made. This assessment gives us the information we need to evaluate what we did. Our evaluation gives us the information we need to start the cycle again and constantly ensure that we have the most up-to-date view of the student's needs. We'll go into this in more detail later, but here let's focus on understanding needs and planning them as they are quite symbiotic. You can't plan something really relevant to the student you're working with if you don't know their needs. And similarly, knowing the needs isn't really going to help you unless you plan to do something with it. This work is often outside contact time with the students, although planning with them can be an advantage too. Usually you will be part of the planning team, along with the class teacher. They will likely cover the big picture and general plans, but you will be expected to help with some of the more specific details regarding the students that you support. You might be asked to create some resources around a learner's need, or look at ways to differentiate the general resources supplied by the teacher. As the person that will be closest to certain students, you should also be asked to contribute to the teacher's understanding of those students' needs. At first this might be difficult, so you might need to shadow a student for a while, so you know exactly how to work with them and what their needs are. At the least you will have to find out things about them from other staff or in their file notes. Remember, to be effective, knowing who you are planning for is a vital part of the cycle. You will need to make time to speak to the teacher and any teams around the student as well as create the resources needed. It is easy to think the job is just in the classroom when there is much more needed to be successful. You're going to have to manage your time and keep on top of your admin. Seek help if you're struggling. It is very important to get this right or the cycle collapses. Thank you. I'll see you in the next tutorial.